Hello everyone, welcome to Thursday for Knowledge. Today I'm going to continue on with The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. If you haven't been following so far, I've covered everything in the book until this point. And it will be easier to understand if you've seen them all. However, without further ado, I am on Habit 3, which is put first things first. Put first things first. Logically speaking, that means prioritize, like at the most face value. It means how to prioritize. The real thing of the real essence of this chapter on the value is, for me, was what are the first things? Because I was misinformed or misguided. I read this chapter twice. And the first time I read it, and I understood it, but it took me a while to get it, because Stephen Covey talks about different quadrants of priorities, and there's what's not important and not urgent. Obviously, is like the least priority. What's not important but urgent is like still not a priority because it's not important. If it's not important, it doesn't matter how urgent it is. Then we get into the top side where both are important, but one is urgent and one is not urgent. And this is where I got thrown off, because I'm thinking, okay, obviously what's important is urgent. That's what I got to get done first, right? Like logically speaking, it's urgent. Urgency means needs to get done right away. There's a sense of, oh my God, it needs to get done. This is my mind thinking, and I'm reading, and I'm like, how is this guy going to explain that the other one is more important? Well, he did a great job of it, because what's not urgent but important is actually more important, because it ends up actually developing the quadrant 2, he calls it, which is not urgent but important. Important but not urgent. Sorry. Important but not urgent. Yes. It was important but not urgent. If you develop those traits and focus on those tasks, well, guess what happens? The important and urgent tasks start to diminish on their own, because you become more effective as a person. How? Different ways. You may become a better manager, depending on what it is. You ultimately free up more of your time, is how it works. So how do you manage your time to focus on what is important but not urgent when you still have the important and urgent things? Well, this is how you do it. Weekly planner. In a nutshell. Now, to elaborate, we always focused on day planners, and I do too. And I luckily somehow had the not urgent but important things in my day planner without realizing I did. Most of them. I still didn't have it all down pat. But when I started using this weekly planner concept, I even went further, and I had a month, like this monthly planner I had, by the way, for Andrew's Quest was before I read this chapter. So great. I will get into my time management technique in another video that's not part of this book, but now it's inspired. This part is derived into it. I've incorporated it. Anyway, weekly planning, how I do it or how it's supposed to be done, is you need to set your roles and your goals. That's roles and goals. What is your role? Well, if you're a father, that's one role. If that's something that you gotta look at your principles, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Your principles you gotta look at your end in mind, which is the second habit, and you need to figure out which principles align with that. This is why you need a mission statement. So this is why I'm not 100% there yet. So once you have those principles, then you'll know which roles are important for you. So your role may be a father, husband, or wife, or oh my God, mother. Can't. How do I forget mother? Anyways, you're a father, or a husband, or a wife, or a mother, or whatever. That's if that's one of your principles. Your role at work, your role in the community, roles. What are your roles? Now, what can you develop and work on that you know you need to be working on, but you haven't? What is one or two or three things in each one that you could be working on? Now, don't do them all at once. Don't try to do them all at once. Break them down and like say, okay, this week for the father, I'll spend more time with my son. For the husband, I'll spend more time with my wife. What? No, not more time. Give it an actual designated amount, like an hour or whatever, or you have an event, etc. That's one. That's the personal one. And there's all kinds. But one example for me is my mission statement. I've been putting that off for like 3 weeks, and I realized that this is how I'm going to do it. I put for this week, start the mission statement. I put other things that they're kind of urgent and important, but they're not urgent. That is more in the sense of how much time I have. That it's like just to give me a little bit of a structure. Things like that. It's hard for me to say what I do because I want to make my own video too, but like I've already put in my daily agenda all the time. Gym. Go to the gym. Duolingo is my language app for like I'm learning Italian or whatever language you want to learn. Reading and things like that. But I already do all those things and I already put them on my agenda. If you don't, then this weekly planner will help you even more. Your goal for the week should be, let's say, read 50 pages. In 1 week span, that's not that bad. If it's too much, then make it read 30 pages. Now you know, okay, from Monday to Sunday, I have, you could make 5 pages a day. That's in 6 days. It's gone. Done. That's done. Right? Then what you need to do after you've established these weekly roles and goals is now transfer to your agenda where you're going to assign time slots and how much time you're going to spend on each of these things. And you'll find that because you're doing these things, you can work around the urgent and important stuff that you have to get done anyway. And as you're growing these other things, you become more efficient at the urgent, important things. And you learn how to delegate and free up your time even more. So that's it in a nutshell. As I said, I'm going to get more into detail about how I manage my own time, but that's for a separate video because I developed this system on my own, and this book, again, always gives me the final piece of the puzzle that I've been missing. It's a great book. You got to read it. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That was habit 3, which is put first things first. Let's keep growing together, guys. Start planning out your week by week, and then throw what's important but not urgent. Remember that. What is important but not urgent? Because you'll always put that off otherwise. So you need to make a point. Have the discipline. Let's keep growing together. I already said that. Take care. Thanks for watching.